these main skill trees right here. Now I'm going to be going over the weapon skill trees. So for one hand, starting off Rising Spirit, this is something you want to get early game. This is very, very good skill. Use it long term. It gives plus 5% to all your stats. This is really good. Mental Resonance, Special Accuracy, plus 20%. Speed Change Resist, Physical Resist, plus 20. This is good for mostly debuffers because special accuracy, so put it on a debuffer. Blessing of the War God, attack aggro minus 20%. So this just makes it to where as you're attacking a mob, you won't gain as much aggro. This is not needed. So 2 contenders, skill power plus 15% and sacred art power plus 15%. This is another thing that I use occasionally with meditation as well because they can both stack. Long run, you won't need it. You can use it though. Long run, it's just after a while you won't need it. So now moving over to Rapier, instantaneous stance, skill speed plus 10%. This is good if you're farming Star Mastery or if you just want a extra speed up in the beginning of the game. You know, if combat feels slow to you in the beginning of the game, you know, go ahead, put this in a passive slot. Blade Synchronization, Skill Connect EX opening time plus 5. So this is another thing that makes it to where you can do your skill connects a little easier. Like I said, I would say practice without these kind of buffs so you can learn the base connect opening time, and if you can't do it, then I guess you can use this if it's better for you, but long term, no. High Precision Machine, accuracy plus 15%, plus 15. Another thing that's really good early on in the game for your Divine Beast, your normal raids, and it's something you would most likely use up in extreme raids if you need more accuracy. Lith Body, agility plus 10%. I use this mostly for dual wield or maybe bow sometimes because certain sword skills have different sub parameters, and dual wield mostly has strength and agility for its skills, and based on how much of the sub parameter it has, then this passive can make it do a lot more. So sometimes use this long run. You won't need it like too much of a long run unless you just have enough accuracy for everything and you know what you're doing. Then yeah, you can get more of a damage boost with this. Now moving on to Dagger. Detect weakness, critical rate plus 5%. I'm not sure how good this is early game. It could be something you can definitely grab for early game though, if it's a real good critical rate. But late game and all that, no. Sense Danger, critical resist plus 30% and cooldown time minus 5%. This is also something you can put like on a buffer or maybe a debuffer if you're able to, because the cooldown time on it. So March of the Recluse, step cancel time minus 30%. So this makes it to where whenever you do a step, it's more faster and you can do more of them quicker. So not needed. Really, even in the beginning of the game, it's not needed. Man of the Watchtower, delay time minus 20%. This is good if you want your EX skills, so say like Starburst or anything like that. If you want them to activate quicker and stuff, this is something you can definitely do. If the delay times are a bit of a pain for you early game and all of that, then you can use this. Long term, you won't need it though. Nimble Feet, evasion plus 15%. This could also be another passive you would want to use early game. Stack that with the other 3 evasion passives and you know, see how often you'll get hit Now, Mace Leadership aggro gauge decrease minus 25%. Only good for tanks. Even then, it's not needed for them. Spirit of Determination, Vitality plus 10%. This is very good for tanks. Get more HP and you'll get more defense. Iron Will, Defense plus 10%. Like I said, defense 10%. That's good. Transformation, max HP plus 10%. This is really good with the other max HP increase. So definitely for a tank, if you want higher HP and stuff, use it. So now moving to Whip, Indomitable Spirit, Paralysis resist plus 20, Soul resist plus 20. Don't need these. Really, there's not a point in wasting a slot for debuff resisting. So, Tranquil Guard, damage reduction plus 10%. This can be somewhat useful early game, and if you want to put this on like an early tank build, yeah, you can definitely use this. Will to Live, HP regen plus 2%. Depending how fast you can get this early game, you can use it. Like I said, for your early game tank build, you can definitely use this for some HP regen. Hazy Light, on successful step dodge, SP recovery plus 25. Like I said, these dodging ones, do not use these. There's no point to them. Do not use them. The increase isn't dramatically, and it's not like it doesn't last long, so don't use these. Katana, Evil God Bloodline, strength plus 10%. This is really good. Will go long term as well because of the strength increase. That's also how you can get more attack. So definitely a good passive right there. One with the sword, movement speed plus 15%. I honestly can't tell a difference really with movement speed stuff, so I don't worry about them. Like even when level 1, I don't even use. So don't waste a slot on this, because most of the time you can just teleport in the maps, and unless you're running through a raid, I mean, I guess, but I wouldn't waste a slot on it. Attack plus 10%. Good early game if you don't get uptight or berserker. Yeah, good early game. After that, and I would say don't use this unless you're just not gonna hit the attack cap. But even still, something I really wouldn't use all that much. I'd rather go with the strength plus 10% than that. War God Contract, occasional SP cost minus 50%. Don't use this as well. Usually when I buff, I'll buff first. I'll also have Galvanize, so I'll use Galvanize first, then do whatever buff I can do next. And if I don't have enough SP for the remaining buff I need to use, then I'll just go in Super Art, use that to start fighting. That's pretty much how I do it. So moving to two-hand, Weapons of Darkness, HP absorption plus 100, damage reduction minus 20%. This is good if you want to regain HP while you're attacking, because as you do damage, you get HP back. You can increase the HP absorption effect. I think the healing received passive or any or something like that can increase it. I would say only useful really early game. Besides that, you won't need this at all. Unbreakable Body, defense level plus 1, damage reduction minus 20%. Do not use this for only plus 1 defense level. This is not good for the trade-off of damage reduction minus 20%. It's not good. Offensive defense counter proc rate plus 5%. I'm not exactly sure how this works. I believe it's like when you take damage, you have a 5% chance of doing a counter. I don't know if it's like a perfect block or something like that. But with that low of a rate, you're pretty much not going to pull it off unless a mob has multiple hit attacks. Even then, I wouldn't waste this as a slot. Fighting Spirit, attack plus 15%, defense minus 15%. Like I said, early game with these attack passives, you know, go ahead and use them. But in the long run, once you unlock Uptight and Berserker, you won't need these. You'd rather go for the that Katana passive, the Strength plus 10%. Thirst for Blood, critical rate proportional to remaining SP plus 50%. Early, this can be good if you have, because your crits will be, you know, based off how much remaining SP you have. So if you go in super arts and you have maxed SP, you'll at least crit more. Good early game. Long term though, you won't need this. Now moving to bow, the Soul's End, max SP plus 100, max HP minus 50%. So this, I only use it either on a buffer or a debuffer, so they can at least pull off their skills a little bit more. Even then, it's not needed because you can just go in super art and then buff. So efficient movement, SP regen plus 1. Again, don't need this. I'd rather use normal attacks to regain SP than have SP regen. Ruled by the Strong, risk points plus 100%. This will make it to where the mob will go into 3.4 or 3.6 status in their risk for like 5 seconds. And you'll need some special accuracy for this. Back in the day, I believe it didn't require any special accuracy. Same thing with Witsend. It didn't require special accuracy till they made a fix with it to where they require it now. But this could be good very early game. If you can land that debuff, you'll do more damage. It's also good for normal raids, Divine Beast starting out, all of that. You just gotta make sure you have enough special accuracy. Hyper Awareness, experience plus 10%. This is a really good skill early game. And the earliest you can get a bow is actually in Loaded Mountains, where you start the game. As soon as you start the game, you can get a bow. You get it from a chest in the bottom right of the map. It's in that cave where a bunch of those bugs are. You get it there, so you could. This is very good. Even now, it's still good to put on for whenever they increase the level caps. Air Dance, on successful step dodge, accuracy up plus 30. Don't use this, as you know, it's a dodging skill. You gotta perfectly do it. Doesn't last long. So dual wield, binary star sword god, chain burst risk correction plus 10%. I don't exactly know for sure what this really does. Based on what I've seen, it seems like it makes the risk go up a lot more and faster with chain burst. So that's what what I can tell from what it does, what it seems like. Blade Dance, follow-up attacks plus 1, max HP minus 10%. Back when I played the game, I didn't know what this meant by follow-up attacks, but basically this just makes it to where after your initial hit, you'll also do another hit, but it's gonna be reduced. It's not gonna be the same damage. So say you hit 1 mil in one hit, the Blade Dance for its second hit isn't gonna do that full damage. It's only gonna do a portion of it. This is a good skill long term, definitely. If you can hit hard, then the follow-up attacks will hit hard. Mental Focus, Dex plus 10%. Good skill long term, especially if you need accuracy. So definitely have this. And finally, Skill Connect EX count plus 1. This just makes it to where instead of the base game where you can only do 2 out of 2 skill connects, you can now do 3 out of 3. As you go up with each skill connect, your attacks will do more damage. So this is not needed as a passive. There is a food in the game that you can use, and there's also an accessory in the game that has this passive that you can use. So I'd say don't use it as a passive slot. just get those other things as an alternative. But yeah, anyway, that's all the passives in the game. You know, judging them by their usability for the story, and then up to like the end game. And yeah, next I'll end up doing the personas and animas, and then I might do the sword skills. The only thing about the sword skills is mostly it's going to be kind of my opinion, as some people will use other skills they like more than what I would use. But I will try to do the sword skills to the best of my ability, judging from what is the better ones to use out of all of the ones for that weapon. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.